Sometimes our outrage says less about our beliefs and more about the strategies that we use to make ourselves attractive.
What are you even saying?
That may just be the case when it comes to Sydney Sweeney's American Eagle controversy.
My jeans are blue.
Did American Eagle just run an ad for eugenics?
The attractive white woman with blonde hair, blue eyes is talking about just the jeans she gets from American Eagle.
You are an embarrassment, Sydney Sweeney.
I mean, I just saw Sydney Sweeney looking hot, selling jeans.
The ad is racist and eugenics coded.
On the surface, it looked like any other culture war, instigated by a company seeking attention to sell a product. We've seen this all before.
It's a Gillette razor ad. The 90-second ad shows men and boys behaving badly.
No, all these guys are really mad because it's like an anti-masculine Gillette commercial. It makes like every man look like a misogynist.
Bro, not cool, not cool.
It's such a disturbing commercial.
But then I saw a new perspective that was completely different. It was from best-selling author and psychologist Rob Henderson, and his take was that this controversy could be viewed not through the lens of capitalism or politics, but through the lens of evolutionary psychology. And that lens reveals 4 cunning strategies hidden behind the mask of outrage, and an inescapable evolutionary trap that ties them all together. Now, Rob's views were right up my alley, so as soon as I read them, I shot him a text and we hopped on a call the next day. Here's his take.
Dumb women are calling Sydney Sweeney and the ad fascist or racist because they want to take her down a notch. Like, they don't want that ideal of beauty to be pedestalized, of the skinny, blonde-haired, blue-eyed young woman in denim.
Okay, so from this evolutionary psychology lens, we see women trying to influence beauty standards to improve their relative position in the mating and dating game. Now, it's not exactly a flattering perspective, but according to Rob, it's not just the women competing like this.
But then on the other side, you have dumb men who are calling her mid, calling her a 6. She's not even that pretty. Why do we even care so much about Sydney Sweeney? So, dumb men are doing this because they're attempting to lower the collective self-esteem of women who look like Sydney Sweeney in order to basically manipulate them into finding low-value men more attractive.
Rob went on to describe all the subtle ways that these competitive strategies pervade our lives. From the guys who puff out their arms on a sidewalk in a show of dominance, to the women who filter every Instagram photo. So much of our unconscious behavior is to get a leg up in spreading our genes. No, not those kind of genes. I mean with a G. Our genetic material. And that can get pretty cutthroat, especially when it's all flying under the radar. Take the rise of the usage of the word simp. The guy who shells out a ton of money for OnlyFans creators or just lets his girlfriend walk all over him. Listen to how Rob sees that phenomenon.
What's interesting is you almost never see a woman call a man a simp. It's always men calling each other simps. Men are trying to police one another's behavior into not giving up too much to women without getting something in exchange for it.
On the flip side of that, Rob says that women use the insult pick-me or slut in a similar way.
You never hear a man call a woman a pick-me, right? It's always women calling each other pick-me's. And it's this, why are you pandering to the male gaze? Why are you dressing and behaving in such a way that men like? You're ruining it for the rest of us because men might come to expect all women to dress that way and behave that way.
These strategies are all echoes of a larger insight. People are constantly puffing themselves up or cutting one another down to get ahead in the mating game. Now, sometimes they do it in this guise of a moral grandstand, and they may even believe that themselves. But underneath, it's just genetic warfare. Now, personally, I don't think that this whole Sydney Sweeney discourse can be boiled down to just that. For me, it also has a lot to do with people's tendency to project personal issues onto public figures, not to mention the capitalist incentive to connect what's popular to your own thing. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. This video. But I feel that those 3 things combined offer a very strong accounting for why this ad is getting so much attention. Now, right now, maybe you're thinking, hey, I haven't commented on this ad, I have a wife or a husband, a girlfriend or a boyfriend, so none of this underground sexual warfare stuff really applies to me. Well, I've got some good news and some bad news. The good news is that you probably have fairly healthy social media habits, and I applaud you for that. But the bad news? You are still part of the inescapable trap that's being played out in this culture war, and so many others, and that is deeply woven into our nature. And that inescapable trap is status.
Status predates modern societies. If you go all the way back through the anthropological record, you read accounts by ethnographers and anthropologists who've spent time around pre-industrial small-scale societies. These humans are obsessed with status too.
Now, we all can feel what status is. It's that internal compass that influences who we want to align with and who wants to align with us. We feel it implicitly when we put a ton of effort into impressing the boss while we're ignoring the person who is waiting the table. We feel it when people compliment us, and we feel its absence when they laugh at us or they insult us.
The feeling of pride, for example. Pride typically comes from, in that moment, being extremely high status. You won the gold medal, you got the #1 box office film, or whatever it is. It's like you feel pride, and pride is, oh, people really like me, I'm high status right now.
And as much as we may try to pretend that all those things don't impact us, the unconscious attention to status is extremely tough to shake.
So a friend of mine, he told me about how he traveled to Tibetan monasteries and studied with the monks for a while. And even there's a hierarchy where sort of the more you can relinquish your ego, the higher status you are. So, the more you don't want status, the higher status you become, and the more respect you garner from the other monks. So there's not really, I think, ever any attempt to escape this.
Our status in our community has a profound impact on our day-to-day happiness, as well as the proliferation of our genes through the success of our children.
People who are very good at those activities, the activities that benefit the coalition and exhibit certain desirable traits, that those people tend to have more children. And not only do they have more children, they also have more children that survive into adulthood, which indicates that the community takes an interest in your kids and they want to help them too and provide them resources and care and attention.
Now, once you've started paying attention to status, you will see it everywhere. So what can we do, given that we're mostly locked into this status-driven experience of life? Well, the first is to recognize that there are really two types of ways to approach status. First is dominance, and the second is prestige. Dominance is created through force, or at least the threat of force. What can I inflict on you, and can you stop me? If your survival is in my hands, I get the status.
Tell me, which do you favor, your fingers or your tongue?
Now, dominance is important. You do not want to neglect the raw physical nature of life on Earth. So developing your body and learning to stand strong in confrontation are really important. But relying on dominance for your status is a coercive and ultimately joyless way to live. That's where this other type of status comes in.
It's voluntary, where it's not like you didn't bully me into thinking you're prestigious. It's I think you're an impressive person because of these amazing things you do, and I freely am willing to listen to you and allow you to influence my behavior because I think you're so impressive.
Now for me, prestige is a word that I have some resistance to. When I hear it, I think of the thing that drove me into business school instead of doing what I loved. I think of the impressive investment banking jobs or the Oscar bait movies, all the things that people do so that other people will be impressed with them. The pursuit of prestige often kills people's drive to do and make the things that they love. But in talking to Rob, I realized that pursuing prestige can be a beautiful thing. It's just that people seem to make the mistake of pursuing prestige as an end in itself. Those people, especially on social media, take the direct route. Trash someone on X, rent a Lambo, or post a flattering photo in exotic locations with celebrity connection. Essentially, they lean into whatever version of themselves garners the most immediate positive attention. And it works. Opportunities and attention flow to those people. But that status tends to be very short-lived, and it needs constant upkeep or you become irrelevant. Ultimately, it's draining and unfulfilling to go that route. Now, the backdoor path to status is different though. Indirect, because it treats status not as the goal, but as the happy accident that comes from pursuing something else. This path requires you to dedicate yourself to something meaningful, usually something that you personally love. You live that calling for a long time, usually with very little encouragement, slowly developing more skills and leaning more into the aspects of that serve other people. And then one day, you wake up, and not only are you living your calling, which was payment in itself, but also people are now holding you in high regard. You've gotten high status through the back door by letting it be the consequence of your choices, but not the driver of it. And if you're interested in making more real connections with people, meaning more friends, dating opportunities, and lasting relationships at work, you might be interested in joining our course, Charisma University. It's not directly aimed at improving your status, but if you follow the 30-day action guide, you will find that people can't help but notice the positive changes that it inspires. Here's what some students have seen. I don't even have a bachelor diploma, yet they want me to fill this position. And when I asked why, this was the answer. You have great social skills, which is rare for an engineer. You can think quickly on your feet, and you are open and self-assured in your demeanor. Thank you so much for all that you have taught me. You have truly changed my life, because without Charisma University, I wouldn't have qualified for that position in a million lifetimes. Or check out this student's experience with dating. Loving the course. I've liked a girl for over a year now, but never thought much of it because I thought she was just too pretty. Took your lessons, gave things a shot, and now we are dating. And try this one out for friendship. It has been truly incredible. I have instantly had results that seem insane. So many more meaningful conversations. My friendships have improved, and my interactions with total strangers are a new, exciting, fulfilling thing. I want to recommend this to everyone. This should be in our basic education system. Now, the course comes with a full money-back guarantee, so there's no risk to you trying. There are thousands of people that have improved their lives with Charisma University, and I would love for you to do the same. Either way, I hope that this video has helped you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.